Hey everybody, welcome back to Buddy Spirits and Cigars. And today we are going to get into Elmer T. Lee. I have not had this before, as pretty much all of you guys and gals know. This is not readily available and it's extremely hard to get a hold of. So I'm pretty excited to try this. This is Buffalo Trace Mash Bill number 2. So to kind of put that into a little bit of perspective, it's going to have higher rye content than Buffalo Trace, E.H. Taylor, things that's in Mash Bill 1. So without further ado, I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah. That's a rare treat, my friend.
A good classic bourbon nose to it.
Yeah.
Wholesome goodness is what it smells like. Almost like a glass of America and heaven mixed together.
And it's at 90 proof. You don't get that much alcohol up the nose. You just get that whole bourbon smell.
Yep.
You smell the corn in it. You smell the rye.
Really nice color.
While we're nosing this, I do want to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to our channel and all of our other social medias. We greatly appreciate the support.
Very much. Very much.
We couldn't do it without you guys, and we do this to have fun and we enjoy it, but we also want you guys to have fun with this and enjoy the experience that we get to enjoy. So anyway, let's go.
Right on.
Super smooth on the palate. Sweetness.
Man, yeah. It's got some sweetness up front, but man, it's good.
Yeah, it does have a good sweet flavor and it goes down really easy.
Super easy.
No real burn at all.
So this is
very smooth.
90 proof?
Very smooth.
Yeah, that's good. I see why it's hard to find. Everybody buys it up when they find it.
It lives up to that reputation.
Oh, it sure does.
There's a few that don't. They get put on a list and people are like, it's trendy.
Yeah.
But this is one of those that definitely lives up to.
And it used to be on the shelf.
It
Used to be on the shelf. I mean, it's just crazy how Buffalo Trace Distillery, their products have just went insane. People just realized, hey, that probably shouldn't be sitting on the shelf. Wellers, Elmer T. Lee's, E.H. Taylor's, you could Stag Juniors, you could find that stuff on the shelf. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Even Pappy's, a long time ago, they were more readily available than today for sure. And because of the availability, people like to charge an arm and a leg for 3, 4, 5 times the price for these, and it's terrible. I'm not like you guys know on the channel, I'm not a proponent of secondary market pricing.
What?
Not
really?
I'm not doing it. And if I go to a store and they participate in that, I will not buy a single thing from that store.
Rant began.
Well, I hate it. I hate it so bad. It's ridiculous. Man, I like this. This is a great bourbon.
Yeah, it's really good. Really good. I wish we could find it. We've only had one bottle at 906 in 3.5 years of being open.
That's crazy.
And it did not last very long.
I bet it did.
Leroy Farmer, dang you for drinking it all.
What's the MSRP on this?
MSRP is 40.
40. That's insane.
Yep.
Yeah, and
So
for
that's
that,
$40.
That's great for $40.
that'd be worth buying a case if you could find it
Boy,
at that
I'm
price
telling
and in that quantity, but you never will.
Yeah, if you could. Yeah. I'm hoping that this expansion that Buffalo Trace has done, of course it's going to be a decade before we see anything from most of it, but I'm hoping that it really does some good for the market. I really am. It's one of the most renowned distilleries that people like. And they only have 4 mash bills. For everything they do, they've got 4 mash bills. And that's what's crazy. I mean, it's insane to me.
You get microclimates though for each warehouse they have and each floor, and
and then you have the
flavors and tastings out of each one.
And then you have the iron buildings versus the brick buildings, and that makes a big difference just in itself,
And what is it? The bottle was 100. You get a bunch more of the vanillas. The bottle over 110, 120. You get all the caramels out of it. So it's just
and then
crazy how sciencey.
Take the 107 for example. I mean, they use that same mash bill for Pappy's and stuff. It's just placement in the 12-year Wellers and stuff like that. The Van Winkles, and it's just placement in the warehouse basically is the differences. And it's just crazy how that makes that much of a difference.
Yep.
But it is what it is. We enjoy it, and unfortunately, everybody else does too. So,
But you know, the hype around all those offerings that they have, and it's not undeserved by any means, but you know, like that, we did an episode on that Healing Station rye. I mean, that's up there with a lot of that to me, and that's not as hard to find.
I agree.
So I think a lot of people will overlook something like that. Well, I've never heard of that, never give it a try, and they're really missing out.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And, you know, the hype is, a lot of people use that, they play on the hype, and that's where they get their.
It's where the secondary market comes from, yeah. Yeah, I saw a Facebook post on one of the bourbon pages. The guy had special reserve marked at $299.99.
Oh, cow.
So if you ever wonder which liquor store owners are smoking crack, that place, that guy's definitely.
Without a doubt.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a $22 bottle all day long.
Well, you know, that one is pretty readily available just about anywhere you go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not everywhere, but I mean, if it's,
Even in Arkansas, it's not terribly hard to find.
yeah, you can pretty much go find it just about wherever.
East side usually got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They get several bottles
Eastside,
whenever they get it
Garrison
in.
Point, Cheers, River Point. I mean,
Yeah.
there's several of them in Fort Smith, East Side.
Pat gets it at Northside.
Yeah, East End and Salsall,
Yep.
they have some. So it's we got a lot of friends that have it sitting on the shelf. So around here, it's not hard to get. For those of you that do want to try these things, just wait. If you go bourbon hunting for long enough, you will find some of these unicorns, and you'll get them. If not at MSRP, if it's 10, 20 bucks higher, okay,
Yeah.
I can do that. But I'm not going to pay 4 times the price of MSRP for this stuff. But just keep at it. Maybe you can maybe some of your friends find some too, and y'all can share a bottle or something. It's Mr. Doyle and I were talking. And you know, it's one of them deals where we feel like that bourbon is meant to share with friends. So you know, this is something he brought for the show, and
Thank you very
you know,
much, by the way.
we appreciate it. My first time trying it. Your first time trying it as well, I'm assuming. So,
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have anything you guys had to try.
huh?
I said I didn't know if I had anything you guys had to
Well,
try.
I mean that one we just can't find it.
Yeah.
I mean I've looked several times, but
Yeah.
it's just we can't find it.
Yeah, that was one of those
well,
that happened on. Like,
And
hey,
if you
got
do,
this.
it's $300 a bottle, and I'm just not doing that. So
Yeah.
that's just where I'm at with it. You want to start us off on the ratings?
Man, that one. This one is such a good classic bourbon that's just easy to drink, lives up to the hype. I can't even knock it off for the availability.
Dude, you can-
I'm gonna put it up there.
you can get lost in this bottle.
Yeah, it's
Easy.
yeah. That out of all the bourbons I have, that is my hands down favorite bourbon I have. I mean, that's even there with the Weller 12, and I love the Weller 12, but that one to me is just top.
The bee's knees, huh?
That's it. So
Well, lower proof
yeah.
than the Weller 12, you know, and drinkability. I've got a bottle of Weller 12 sitting behind you. We haven't tapped into it yet for the episode. We're going to. The drinkability, lower proof, getting lost in a bottle. I mean,
But the flavor
those-
they still get out of that 90.
exactly
is
right.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Because a lot of times when they, you know, you get something that's this low of a proof, it doesn't have a lot of flavor, you know, compared to, you know, if you're getting single barrels and stuff like that. And man, this one still has it.
Some of us are kind of high proof whores. We like the we like the punch in the mouth sort of. And
Dude, I love 96. 96 is my sweet spot. 94, 96.
Yeah.
It's just, we get a bunch of flavor out of it. It's still got a little heat in the burn. Doesn't kick you in the teeth like Booker's or something like that. That's just my sweet spot. Bottle and Bond, I really like, up to 100. It's just a good sipper. Things like Booker's, though, those are things that I'll put over a big rock. But
yeah,
they
Well-
handle it well.
You know, I think part of the reason for us being higher proof whores in that sense is we like bolder cigars.
Yeah.
And I always like to pair a cigar with whatever the whiskey it is that I'm drinking. And so if I have something that's sub 100, and I'm smoking a bold cigar, I mean, it's gonna overpower my cigar's gonna overpower my whiskey. But most of the time, not every time, but most of the time. And so maybe that's why a little bit bolder of whiskey, higher proof is kind of why.
And the more high proof you drink, the more your face gets used to it. I mean, for lack of a better term.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
Kind of build up a stamina in a sense.
Yeah. For us, drinking 110 as someone who just drinks, a good old 80 all the time is like them drinking a 92 or something.
Oh yeah.
When I first started drinking bourbon, that burn, I just couldn't get past it, like that alcohol burn.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a bottle of Jim Beam and I poured 2 fingers every night until my face didn't think it was melting off. And I was just like, okay, now, oh shoot, hey, there is flavor there.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just,
Yeah, I think it takes a little while to refine your palate. You got to work at it. I mean, it's kind of, if the first time you try a beer, you may not like it. It's kind of an acquired taste kind of deal. You got to kind of work into that and kind of, move around and find things that you like better than others. And so bourbon's no different.
Same thing with cigars.
Same thing with cigars.
I mean, what did you start on?
I mean, I did a vintage 99 Rocky Patel. I mean, and you might as well almost smoke a piece of paper compared to what I like now. I mean, it's just, there's not much there. It didn't take long for me I got to move on. So, and I did, and I'm glad I did.
first cigar I was ever in was a League of 9.
Go ahead and go hard in the paint, man.
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Sullivan at the ER at Baptist, I assaulted him with a DL 906 one night, unknowingly. He was smoking a Padron Maduro, and I'd seen him smoking that. I was like, oh, okay, you like darker cigars. And I gave him one of those, and he was sweating and staggering a little bit. And he said, man, I only had one drink. That cigar kicked my ass. I'm like, sorry, bro, I didn't mean to attack you,
Yeah.
So it can happen. Just got to build up.
And I was with a gentleman, and he had never tried a Casa Fuente Maduro. So he's like, man, I'd like to try one of those, And he's not a regular cigar smoker at all. It was pretty stout for him. He started doing the same thing. He was sweating and kind of halfway getting nauseated, stuff like that. And if you guys have ever experienced that and you're kind of looking for a little quick fix, if you can get a sugar cube and take that, it'll actually help curb that. It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And get some chocolate or something, maybe get a little food. But anyway, sorry, we kind of got off on a rabbit trail there, but go ahead.
Rabbit hole.
All right, what was your official?
And I'm going to just put it up there at just 3.9.
So 7.5 or 4? 3.75 or 4? Which one? 0.25 is what we use.
We're going 0.25s. All right, why don't we give it a 4 then?
Okay.
Because I can't knock it off for that much. Again, I'm kind of partial to this one though.
Well, I'm close. I'm going to do a 3.75. And that's taken off for availability. I'm still going to take off for availability because I've never found that in the wild. And I promise you, because I would have a bottle if I had.
I guarantee you.
That stuff is eminently drinkable bourbon. I'm very, very fond of it. Just wish I could get some more.
I agree. I'm gonna go 3.5. I think it's a great bourbon. I really enjoy it. I'd like for it to have a little bit more boldness to it, but don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to knock it down because it's bland, because it's by no means bland at all. It's got a good flavor, but I feel like if I get into some bolder cigars, I think it would kind of overpower this a little bit, and I like it to be complementary with each other versus fighting. And so, to me, that's just not an enjoyable experience if one side's fighting the other all the time. So,
Thank you.
and availability kind of cuts it down too. I haven't seen one in the wild that I would pay the price for. And I mean, it's been $250, $300 for a bottle, and I'm just not there.
I got lucky when I first started looking for them. It was before the big bourbon boom, and I got an MSRP just over. MSRP was 45.
Oh yeah, man, you're golden. I'd pay that price all day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's where I'm at. What do you think, Mr. Treat?
I'm gonna go a 3.75.
My man.
Pretty solid.
I like it. I think it's good. I would buy a bottle of it. Have no idea what it is. Never heard of it, but thought it was good.
I figured
Really
it'd be
enjoyed
more
it.
in your wheelhouse with that proof.
It is, yeah. I'd probably say the highest that I would set and enjoy is probably around 105. Absolute highest.
Yeah.
But then again, it just depends on certain stuff.
Everybody's palate's different, man.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not everybody can take that stag junior that we're falling over each other for.
Yeah.
You know?
True story.
Mammal off your teeth.
Yeah. But I mean, that's just
That's why they make dentures, man.
that's really bold, and you know that's just something that's the best bourbon that we've rated on this channel so far. So, good job again, Buffalo Trace. I mean, Elmer T. Lee is a great bourbon. I don't know that I've had any bad bourbons from them.
No.
So,
No, me neither.
hats off to you guys again.
Never had bad, just had better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Even the worst one you have is not that bad, but we did do, now getting into the tequila side of things, boy, we had some bad ones.
Oh.
We're
Yeah, I
not
tried
we're
some
not
whiskey
te-
in
we're
Iraq
not
when I was
tequila
there.
people necessarily.
We're not tequila.
It was, oh no, never either. Fosse Azul, I think is the only one I've ever had that I can handle. It's
Yeah.
so bad. And I just tastes like a liquid cupcake. It was super sweet and all that.
But anyway,
So-
so we're smoking a Ashton White Label Maduro.
Yeah. So we were kind of talking about, getting into bourbon and kind of going low and moving high. Same thing with cigars. So this Ashton Aged Maduro, it's the Aged Maduro 10. This is a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper and Dominican binder and long filler, and it is a nice kind of a starter cigar, if you will. It's got the good Maduro wrapper, so you got good flavor. A little chocolate, a little leather, but it is not a strong cigar. So if you kind of getting into cigars, and like for you went from the 99, you moved up. This would be a solid next step for someone that's wanting to get maybe into something a little bolder, a little more flavorful than a Connecticut. These are just really, really well-made, solid cigars made by Fuente. So, I mean, as you can imagine, the quality. I mean, you can see the ash. It's ashing really nice. It's keeping tight. So, with pairing, we were talking about that. You mentioned that earlier. You don't want to overpower one with the other. And with this 90 proof bourbon, I think this Maduro is actually pairing well with it. It's complementing versus overpowering.
I agree.
Whereas something like this, you wouldn't want to go with like an LFD Chapter 1 or even a Liga. I think would probably kind of take away some of the flavor of the bourbon because of how strong it is.
Yeah.
So I think this actually I like the pairing.
I'm with you, and some people out there may think because it's a dark wrapper and they hear the word Maduro that it's going to be
Strong.
a stout cigar,
Yeah.
and that's not always the case. And
No.
like you said, it's a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, so those are darker wrappers, but it's not overpowering at all. This is a very, as far as Maduros go, this is a milder Maduro. But it's a really smooth. It's a great smoke. Even if you're enjoying just the cigar and not able to pair it with any kind of spirit of your choice because of maybe you're at work or something and you have some time to enjoy a cigar, or if you're going to be driving right afterwards, it's a great stick. And it's what's the price point on these?
These are like $12.
$12. So 10 to 12 bucks. Available at Winston's. You can go grab these 906 of them as well. So
That's where these came from.
there you are. I mean, it's the same thing. We've got it available in our local area, and most cigar shops will have if they have Fuente line, they'll have. We're not smoking like any unicorn type things here.
Nope.
These are
Readily
that's it.
available, and they come in several vitolas. So if you want
Right.
something longer, this is about the smallest one that we carry local. But there are several vitolas. If you don't like the shorter one, you can get the longer one. They have a 60 that's really good too. So
Yeah, I mean, the time is of the essence sometimes whenever you go to enjoy this stuff. And so, you may not be able to enjoy a longer Vitola or one that's has the ring gauge of a 60.
Yeah, this is probably a 45-minute cigar, maybe an hour, depending on how you smoke.
Right. So, yeah, that's what we paired with Elmer T. Lee. Great stogie. I enjoyed this whole episode. I mean,
Yep.
it's great to me. You as well?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Being kind of quiet down there, brother. We're just
Yeah,
making
saying-
sure you're
not saying
still
a
there.
lot.
Oh no, I was out on a cigar this time.
Yeah. Well, so compared to the last episode when we had the Casa Cuba, I mean, they don't taste the same, but it's still a Fuente line, so it's really smooth, really good, good composure. It's a great smoke. I mean,
Yep.
I think this would be something you'd
Yeah.
enjoy. It's not real bold, but it's also got flavor at the same time. So, anybody else have anything? All right.
No, man.
Nothing?
Well, that is.
I spoke my piece. Like I said, that was the bourbon I fell in love with bourbon with.
Yeah.
So that's
You know,
again,
and
I'm partial to that one.
Out of all of us, he gets to travel a little more with his job and everything than we do. So he gets to get out and he gets to see, you know, he sees insane prices just like the next guy, you know. So he has a little more exposure to that stuff, and you know, it's good to have his insight as well. He's not always with us, and we do enjoy him coming on the show. So
Yeah. Thanks for coming on,
thank
brother.
you
It's
for
been
your
good.
time. We appreciate it.
Hopefully,
So thanks for bringing this
Yeah.
bottle too.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've never had it, so if it wasn't for you, then you know, and your philosophy on sharing bourbons with friends, you know, I mean, that's just that's
Well,
awesome of you.
And that's kind of the thing about the bourbon and cigar community. We're the kind of guys, hey, you've never had that? Why don't you try it? Here, have a smoke. Here, have a pour. You know, that's the fellowship about this is probably my favorite thing about the whole community, the whole culture, you know.
Yeah, and that's with getting these unicorns and things like that, you know, some people want to hoard them, but at the same time, you know, why not let somebody else have a chance? And even if it's just, you know, giving them a finger or two of the bourbon or whatever spirit, you know, I mean, it's nice to, that's the way I see it too, is I just like to enjoy it with my buddies, even if it's on a show or do it for our channel or something like that. I mean,
It's one of those bittersweet, like, you know, a bottle like this, you know, once you pour the last pour,
yeah.
it's like, man, it's gone. But then all the memories you have, hanging out with friends,
Yeah.
drinking it, that went with that bottle.
Yep.
There's a lot more in that bottle than just the bourbon.
Well, it's kind of like, you know, on your path in life. So it's not about getting from point A to point B. It's about the journey getting from point A to point B. And so that's kind of the way as a bottle dwindles down. Like you said, you have all those experiences, and like, you know what, that bottle allowed 15 of my friends or whatever to have an experience with Elmer T. Lee and Buffalo Trace. So that might actually encourage them to, like, you know what, that's from Buffalo Trace. They got some other things that are more readily available. I'm going to go try some of their other things, you know. So it works out good for the most part.
Yeah. Have you all watched that special with Meat?
Yes.
Meat on
Yes.
Netflix?
Yes.
You know, talk about getting super romantic about bourbon.
Yeah.
Like, don't watch it at work because you can't drink. If you really want to, I can watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So
Well, it wouldn't be as bad for me as it would for y'all.
yeah,
But
I mean, like,
You're right.
you can't drink and get on the
Yeah.
helicopter.
yeah,
yeah, that's true.
go do a scene flight, 3 bourbons in. That might not be the greatest thing you ever decided to do.
Definitely be frowned upon. Yeah. That's all we have time for this episode. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate your support, and we'll catch you on the next one.